just want to encourage you guys that it's going to be okay. And that was the message, and to control the controllables. One of the things that is worth talking about, in this segment is that there's a tremendous power emotionally, spiritually, when you do what you can do. What you can control, you control those things. And my old friend Art Williams always said, all you can do is all you can do, and that's enough.
Yeah, it gets overwhelming when you start to think about everything, even just on a higher level, right? So you start thinking nationally, what's going on in Washington, to even a state level, and it's just like, there can be so much to fret about and so much to worry about. But when you actually kind of let go of that control and say, okay, there are things that I don't have control over. I mean, if they're doing something, I can't do anything about it, but here's what I can do. And we kind of walk through like controlling your attitude, controlling your money, and controlling your opportunities. Like those are things that you can be purposeful in today, that we really spoke into. But man, it gives you a sense of peace when you know I can do something about this.
Mm-hmm. If you choose generosity in the form of a smile, if you choose kindness instead of ripping everybody in your neighborhood Facebook
judgment
group.
I hate to say it. We talked about it last night, but people have gone absolutely crazy. And I kind of intersected last night in just talking about giving grace to people. Like on both extremes, both sides need to look at each other and say, you know what, that's how they're choosing to handle it. And just giving them grace, because even on our next door app thing, it was like 2 neighborhoods down from us, there were kids playing on a playground, and you would have thought the end of the world was happening. I mean, like, people are just mad at each other on both sides. I mean, they're just fighting each other, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, just take a deep breath, control what you can control. Those aren't your children out there probably playing on that playground, but like, it is, there's an element that
those children are going to bring the end to the earth,
that we've lost our minds. So we've
lost the ability to be kind.
That's it. It's just,
you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well, and it's just pulling back the judgment. I mean, I think honestly, in a time like this, I'm like, it's what you tell your kids, but it's like you have enough to take care of for yourself. Wait, what's the saying?
Taking care of yourself is a full-time job.
Job, that's it. You have a full-time job taking care of yourself. And so
those kids, if they're not your kids, are none ya business.
Well, you would have been on that extreme on the debate.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not a public health crisis. They're children on a playground. That's just asinine.
Right. Well, it's just the attitudes and the unkindness that just floods out of people. So yeah, that's it. I mean, just take a deep breath, give people grace, and
but that stuff's happening in every HOA across America right now.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's just, every single one's got, Barney Fife of the coronavirus is gone to town because Barney's afraid. And if you're Barney right now and you decided you're in charge of everybody else because you're afraid, you need to take a breath, be calm. You can only control you. You can't control all those people. Even if you're right.
Right.
You can't control them.
Yeah. And knowing where that's coming out of, I mean, like,
I can't control what Donald Trump does.
Right.
Even if I disagree with him and I'm right. I can't control what Nancy Pelosi does, even if I disagree with her and I'm right. They're going to do what they're going to do, no matter how angry or unkind or nasty I post on Twitter, or how much I'm mean to my own relatives because they said something like that or did something like that. This is just, it's ridiculous. It's gotten out of hand. And so you're right, controlling your attitude and giving grace, being generous to people with a smile, and just go, you know what, I get that you feel that way, but I don't, and I'm not doing that.
Yep.
And so, I understand your concern, but I'm looking at this view. I'm viewing this differently.
That's right. Yeah. And I think that the fear is just so heightened, and it comes out in anger and aggression. It comes out in so many ways. So I think that's when you can recognize that and just say.
And what it does is it whether it's fear on the economics side or whether it's fear on the virus side, when you just go into hyperventilation mode, hysteria mode, you leave all the facts behind. In either case, you leave all the facts behind. And you are revealing the weakness in your character when you're mean to people in those situations, or shaming people in those situations. And so, our team went home. We sent them home to work from home last Friday. They've been home a week now. But we didn't do that soon enough to suit some people. And so the names that our family has been called and the things that people have threatened us because we didn't move our team home as soon as they thought we should. Well, all we were trying to do is keep enough revenue coming in to be able to feed all these 1,000 families that count on us. But the way people have reacted, it's just unconscionable. And the names I'm called on Twitter all the time anyway.
You need to get off Twitter.
To start with.
You need to boycott.
Twitter is just a...
it's just a hot spot for you. Yes, get off of it.
Black hole for trolls.
You don't need it.
Yeah, but...
Get on Instagram.
Yeah, as if they don't say nasty stuff on Instagram.
They really don't. But, Instagram people are actually very kind.
Not as much. Not as much. I'll go with you on that.
They're very kind.
No, not always. But, but I mean, just give yourself...
Right.
Give other folks, okay, that's your thing.
Yep.
And this is mine.
Lots of compassion.
And, you can vote that way. I'll vote this way. And no one's being killed by either thing. This thing, I saw a thing today, somebody ripping somebody about that didn't think we ought to go back to work. And the guy said, if we don't all go back to work, there's going to be mass suicides because of the economic stuff. Oh, come on. I mean, yeah, there's always suicides, which is horrible. But, I mean, come on. You don't have to overstate your case to make a solid case on something. Besides that, you're arguing with somebody's already made up their mind. Stop doing that. That's a waste of your energy.